Yo, what's going on? I appreciate everybody tuning in to the channel. Y'all know, as usual, we're going to talk a little bit of attorney reactions and a little bit of finance mixed into a stories about celebrities who are crashing and burning and have either lost their bag, are losing their bag, or in serious jeopardy of losing their bag, i.e., a substantial portion of their fortune. If you're new to the channel, I'm Marcus, the Debt Free Dad, where we talk finances and attorney reactions. I always have to toss out a disclaimer. I am a licensed attorney, but I'm not your attorney. So if you're looking for legal or financial advice, go seek a professional in your area who has a fiduciary relationship, and never, under any circumstances, listen to a talking head on YouTube, even if it's me. And if you see something you like, share, comment, subscribe. All of that stuff is free 99. I'm not selling y'all nothing, none of that type of stuff. Just asking for y'all support. And for everybody who is supporting, I definitely appreciate it. Now, let's talk about crashing and burning, okay? We are seeing uh, a large volume. I don't know if it's a large volume, but we are seeing some of the black community's biggest celebrities crash and burn financially, or appear to be crashing and burning financially. I think the biggest and worst part of this is it's all things that are self-inflicted. It's all things that potentially could have been avoided if people would have moved different, made some smarter moves, not engaged in criminal behavior, and things of that nature. So we're talking about Diddy today, and as a bonus, we also going to talk about AB, because AB, Antonio Brown, got a whole mess going on. So I was like, you know what? We could kill two birds in one stone. Now, we're all familiar with what's going on with Diddy, what's going on with his legal situation. He has a myriad of lawsuits that have come his way. He has a new one that came up last week, where it looks as if the alleged victim in that case kept the dress that she wore during the date of the incident for 20 years. 20 years is wow. She's on her Monica Lewinsky stuff, but hey, is not necessarily a dumb move. Now, the thing that did give me cause to pause when I read that article, it says something like she kept it in a plastic bag. And generally speaking, just from a evidentiary standpoint and contamination standpoint and false positives from blood samples and any other type of samples you can pull out. Generally, in most instances, it would actually behoove you to keep a garment, if you're looking for any type of DNA, in a paper bag. A plastic bag is probably going to jack it up, unless it's one of those nuanced plastic bags that evidence collection teams use. If it's not one of those, you might as well put it in a lunch bag, or a brown paper bag or something would be better off than just a generic Ziploc bag. That was the first thought I had. But then after that, another lawsuit spun up. So I think 50 Cent was right. In a video I did about a week ago, and I don't know if y'all seen on social media, 50 Cent actually put out a statement saying that Diddy is getting advice from a bunch of idiots. Long story short, he was like, "Yo, who is advising you? All of the moves you're making are crazy," and it actually appears to be accurate, because once he apologized for his behavior in the video that was 2016, and he himself said that I was going through a dark times, and I was effed up, and I was at my lowest of low, and I sought out and got help. The very first thing I thought is everybody who has potentially some cause of action against him from 2016 and before are going to file it, because now you've just essentially admitted that, yo, I was in a bad place. I was an abuser. I mean, the video shows it, but now you put a timestamp on it. Like, yo, 2016, I was at the lowest of the low. So, I mean, let's reasonably put this together. You was probably at your lowest of the low in 2016, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11. Anything before that is fair game. Hell, anything after that is fair game. But him coming out with that apology just really laid out a red carpet for anybody who had any potential interaction with him that could be considered criminal in nature. Hey, if it occurred 2016 before, they definitely were filing now. They probably was going to file anyway, but after that apology, they definitely are filing. So Diddy has a lot going on. Now in 2022, maybe I think right around the time it happened, I did a video where we looked at hip hop's biggest entrepreneurs, and we of course had Diddy on the list in the top 10. I can't remember exactly where he was at the time, but I will tell you he definitely wasn't in the top five. I don't believe we put him in the top five because one of the criteria for biggest entrepreneur was how many multimillionaires did you create? And Diddy only created one multimillionaire. That's himself. Everybody else was broke as hell. They had to get their money after they left from rocking with Diddy. But he was on that list. Kanye West was on that list. And during this time in late 2021, I believe, was around the time that Kanye, he may have been 2021 or 2022, but Kanye was the second hip hop billionaire to hit Forbes list right uh, after Jay Z. He actually had a higher net worth than Jay Z, which was wow. Well, what did Kanye do? He did what the title of this video is about. He crashed and burned, fumbled his bag. He lost the deal with Adidas, which accounted for a substantial portion of his billionaire status. And the minute Kanye fell off that list, we had a new up and comer climb on top of that list, and that was Diddy. He hit billionaire status according to Forbes, I believe, in 2022, which was, I mean, that's a big deal to become a billionaire. I mean, the second hip hop billionaire is a big deal. But we got to understand how those billionaire lists, how the financial aspects of it are all calculated. Let's say you have a contract, right? Like Ye had his contract with Adidas, Diddy had his contract with Diageo. Essentially, when you have a contract and they looking at that contract for future work and obligations to determine your net worth, essentially what they do is put some multipliers on that contract based on how long that contract is or how long it could reasonably be anticipated that that contract would go out. Like LeBron probably has a contract with Nike in theory in perpetuity. So if his contract said 3 years lasting on his contract, they're probably going to put multipliers on that contract because the expectation is that LeBron isn't going nowhere. He's not going to go to Converse, Adidas, Under Armour, Big Baller Brand, or nothing like that. So multipliers on business contracts is one method or one uh, method that's used to do a calculation of being a billionaire. So now that we know Diddy hit billionaire status in 2022, the big question out there is how is that going to impact his overall net worth? Because really, I guess in all honesty, the bigger question is could Diddy potentially lose a substantial portion of his overall wealth? And for me, a substantial portion is I'm talking somewhere 60 to 70%. That'll be catastrophic. But imagine losing 60% of your overall net worth. Like you might go from living a comfortable life to eating top ramen, chicken, and beef every night. So this is a real possibility with litigation. So we're gonna take a look at just some of the numbers around Diddy's net worth, what companies are doing, what contracts he's losing, and we're going to talk about the plausibility that he could lose a substantial portion of his net worth. Then we're going to take a pivot and look at who Diddy hopefully doesn't want to come become Antonio Brown because Antonio Brown recently filed for bankruptcy. But all bankruptcies aren't created equal, and we're going to talk about that. So let's go ahead and cue up the article so we could dive a little bit in this. And we got to give a little bit of background on Diddy's contract with Diageo and for his liquor company that he used to own, De Leon, because that was, according to research I've done, a substantial portion of his overall billionaire status. According to reports and court filings, Diageo said they paid Diddy over the 15-year relationship somewhere near $1 billion. They said that they put like $100 million in the advertisement of his De Leon liquor brand, and he only put up $100,000 and wouldn't fulfill a bunch of other obligations. And according to reports, they actually paid him in cash somewhere in the ballpark of $60 million a year. So let's go ahead and cue this article up. Give me 1 second. I gotta take care of something real quick. All right. Sorry, I had to do a little bit of struggle streaming there. It was like raining. We had like torrential rain, and then all of a sudden, the rain stopped. And I was like, damn, it's like getting hot in this bitch. I don't want to be in this y'all perspiring, looking all crazy in this Under Armour shirt. So let's go ahead, take a look at this list. Okay, this chart at the top shows Diddy's earnings from 2018 to 2022. 64 million in 2018, 103 million in 2019, 55 in 2020, 75 in 2021, and 90 million in 2022. Now, why was Diddy removed from the Forbes billionaire list in 2024? And it's kind of, well, it's not funny, but it seems like every day I see another article out there that essentially talks about how Diddy is losing some brand. Like they recently, I didn't even know they still made like I knew he had Sean John, then he sold it. Then the person who bought it, Sean John went into bankruptcy. Then Diddy bought Sean John after the bankruptcy for something real low, some crazy ass reduced price, and he was trying to get it back up and running. But I didn't even know Sean John still actually had like eyewear in the store because I just saw an article with like a bunch of eyeglasses distributors stopped selling his Sean John brand eyewear in stores. And I'm gonna just keep it a buck. Hey, back in the day, your boy had a couple of Sean John velour sweatsuits. I don't know if y'all that old, but back in the day, your boy thought he would fly with like 2 or 3 Sean John velour sweatsuits. All right, so I think I had a Sean John. I had one like no, I actually had 2 like actual jean outfits in my life, and they both were Sean John. Damn, I'm old. Okay, now let's go ahead and dive into this article about why he's not on the Forbes list. He was officially certified as a billionaire according to Forbes in 2022. Why Diddy was removed from the Forbes billionaire list in 2024? Sean Combs, I'm gonna start calling him Sean Combs. When you got all these legal situations, I'm gonna call you by your government. Sean Combs' major stake experienced a huge decline following a series of sexual assault claims and a federal sex trafficking investigation connected with him. The sensational legal drama led to the Bad Boy record boss to the end of his partnership with Diageo and Revolt TV. According to hiphopdx.com, these investments accounted for much of his wealth. This ultimately left Diddy's net worth at 800 million, causing his absence from the Forbes list in 2024. That's all we need to take away from that article. We don't even need to go into details. But let's just put this into context, okay? Because I know everybody out here hearing like, well, he's still worth 800 million, so he's good. Think about it. He lost 2 deals with Revolt, and he lost a deal with Diageo, and his overall net worth went down $200 million. The multiply, it probably actually went down more in theory, but $200 million just from losing 2 deals. And he is losing deals daily. I just saw on the TV the eyeglass deal. Sean John is being pulled. He's paying out settlements. So one of the big questions that we have to ask is, yo, how much is how liquid do we think that Diddy is? Like, and I try to do some research on there to find out what is the average amount of liquidity that people carry. So if you have a $1 million overall net worth, you don't got $1 million in the bank. How much liquid cash do you actually have on hand? Because a lot of that net worth is going to be tied up in properties, and he has a shitload of properties that are in the hundreds of millions of dollars. A lot of it is going to be tied up in properties, other business ventures, his business with Bad Boy or any other company that he may own or have substantial rights to. So, on average, though, from the information I signed, most people don't even have 10% of their overall net worth in actual liquid assets. I know I don't. I don't have 10% of my net worth in actual liquid assets. Like, if you got 1 million in the bank, I'm definitely not sitting on 100,000 cash in the bank. That would be crazy to do. Sitting on $100,000 just cash that you can get. Now, 100K in investments, that's a different story. But 100,000 in cash that you can just get your hands on immediately right away isn't really the norm. So, according to a lot of reports, a lot of financial experts I've been looking at, depending on how this litigation goes, because this dude has so many legal matters outstanding, experts are anticipating that this dude could potentially lose anywhere from 50% to 60% of his overall net worth. He's talking about going from $1 billion to $500 million. That's kind of crazy. Like, that's that's a big net worth loss. And the other question is, we don't know if his lifestyle can sustain a net worth loss of 50%. I know I couldn't. If you lost 50% of your overall assets, do you think that you would be able to live the same? 50% of your overall assets, some of that is going to be in losing property value, some of that may be in a reduction of your income at your job. I don't know. A lot of times you see people, artists, celebrities, athletes who make millions of dollars and they have these huge contracts, but they lose half of that to taxes, 3% to an agent, maybe another 1% to trainer and personal fitness, maybe another 5% to baby mamas and child support. Like, it could get real crazy real fast when you talk about how fast you can actually lose those assets. So I'm gonna be honest, I wouldn't be shocked at the end of the day when it's all said and done if this dude doesn't lose 50 or 60% of his overall net worth. Right now, they anticipate it is at $800 million. By the time the dust settles on all of his legal exposure, he could have $400 million or even less than that. It's just a matter of seeing how these things play out. And we have seen a prominent figure in hip hop lose damn near all of their wealth because of litigation and going through trial. Y'all know who it is. If anybody know who it is, drop a name in the comment. But hey, we seen this happen with Irv Gotti when he was the boss of Murder Inc. Records. He had a case he had to fight, and he had done several interviews saying that just in hiring attorneys and fighting that litigation, I think they had charges for money laundering because the feds alleged that Murder Inc. and Irv Gotti was money laundering for New York drug dealer Supreme, and he spent a substantial portion of his fortune. He's very candid about this. Just in hiring attorneys, fighting the litigation, he couldn't make music. He couldn't do anything during the course of this time. So it's not out of the realm of possibility that Diddy could fall off substantially, in my personal opinion. Nah, he wouldn't be homeless. He wouldn't be homeless, but he gonna have to make some. And I agree with that. Is Hey, he's not a regular person. The laws won't render him homeless. He can live like a regular person, like his former artist. Now he probably gonna live a little bit better. He probably gonna live a little bit better than his former artist. I think even if he lost 60% of his current net worth, he would probably live a little bit better than his former artist. Because I don't know, man. That dude was a it's crazy. He was the real hip hop boogeyman. We all thought it was Suge Knight back in the day, but lo and behold, it actually ends up the hip hop boogeyman is actually Diddy, which is wow. But I don't know. He's not going to be homeless, but to go from $1 billion net worth to 300 million dollars net worth, he gonna have to make some substantial changes in his entire lifestyle. But at the end of the day, this is a big example of somebody who had, and we got to give him credit, no matter how uh ridiculous and how much of criminal activity this guy is. We got to give him some credit to be able to amass the amount of wealth he did on the business acumen side. Actually, that's actually really impressive, because as an artist and even as a producer, I don't really know if Diddy is really, really talented. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know what he actually made and what he stole from other people. So when it comes to someone in the music industry who made the most with the least amount of talent, like he's in the top two, probably him and Birdman. Probably him and Birdman are the two highest people who made the most amount of money in hip hop with the overall least amount of musical talent as an artist or creator. Nothing with regard to their business acumen, but it's not outside the realm of possibility he can lose 60, 70% of his net worth. And I'm actually betting on that. I don't think this shit is going to end good for him overall. And I think he's going to be a shell of what he was at his peak. Now, let's turn the page because we're talking about crashing and burning. Let's turn the page and talk about another celebrity who crashed and burned or is either really smart. We're going to turn the page and talk to Antonio Brown. And I did some videos on AB. If y'all not familiar with who Antonio Brown is, he's kind of like if we take all the crazy shit out that he did, he's kind of like the Tom Brady of he's like, yeah, he's kind of like the Tom Brady of wide receivers. He was barely drafted in the NFL as a 6th-round pick. He probably is going to be a Hall of Famer if his personality and buffoonery doesn't keep him out of the Hall of Fame. But he definitely has the numbers to be in the Hall of Fame. He's a Super Bowl champion, and I did a few videos on him because AB has some financial issues. And one trait we always see with people who file bankruptcy is they don't like to pay people. If you do some work for them, AB, Donald Trump, if you do some work for people who file bankruptcy, is a good chance that you aren't going to see that money again. But I want to pull up this article on Antonio Brown and his bankruptcy. And then I want to watch a video that Antonio Brown did as a short clip from a Vlad TV interview. Because if I play it too long, Vlad gonna be like, "Oh, take it down, take it down." But it's a short clip from a interview, a Vlad TV interview did about 4 years ago, where AB actually talked about bankruptcy. So, hey, it's giving me some cause to pause. I see every video I see, everybody just dogging AB like, "Yo, this dude going broke. He overspending. He not paying people. He doing this or he doing that." But this video that we got 4 years ago might actually prove that Antonio Brown is not necessarily as foolish as we anticipate him to be from his hijinks. All right, let's go to this article. Antonio Brown. I don't know if y'all remember the last time we saw him in the NFL, I think was 2022 when he just walked off the field and like threw his jersey off and stormed off the field. But former NFL star wide receiver Antonio Brown has filed for bankruptcy, according to the Times Union. Brown owes nearly $3 million to 8 different creditors, as stated by paperwork filed on May 15th in U.S. bankruptcy court for the Southern District of Florida. He reportedly filed Chapter 11 bankruptcy, which involves the court supervised reorganization of a debtor's assets and liabilities. All right, remember that. That's a key word. Chapter 11, reorganization. So it doesn't necessarily mean you broke as hell, okay? We've seen, 50 Cent filed for bankruptcy. And I remember everybody was laughing. Then the next day he was on like IG holding like $200,000 worth of cash. So just because you filed for bankruptcy doesn't mean you're necessarily a habitual bag fumbler. So, and I'm gonna give AB credit. I think a lot of the shit he do is dumb. But when I saw this old video, I was like, AB actually might be making a smart move here to try to, you know, secure some of his wealth and some of his assets. All right, let's see them. Let's see. That amount includes a $1.2 million court judgment to Anton Tumanov, a moving truck driver who sued Brown for assault and battery during an altercation in 2020. It also includes money owed on a credit card, a marketing firm, and a law firm, among other debts. Now, it's interesting because I took a look at the lawsuit that was filed by the individual who owned the moving company, and that $1.2 million judgment that he got it wasn't because Antonio Brown went to court and lost. It was because Antonio Brown just decided, you know what, fuck it. I'm not showing up to court. So he got a default judgment entered against him, and now he on the hook for $1.2 million. Brown owns media company CTESPN Network confirmed the bankruptcy filing via social media earlier this week. NFL legend Antonio Brown has filed for bankruptcy. The Post read he will be a first ballot Hall of Famer in 2027. He will be releasing new music this summer. He is also the founder of the most trusted source in all of sports. I don't know who's buying Antonio Brown's music. Brown was drafted by the Steelers in the 6th round of the 2010 NFL draft and spent most of his 12 years in Pittsburgh. 6th round, he damn near didn't make it to the league. So what he accomplished based on what his draft position was, he was like a no-star recruit. So in college too. So what he did was actually Tom Brady-esque. Like, to go from that low in the draft to turning yourself into a first ballot Hall of Famer is actually impressive. He saw a lot of success as a 7-time Pro Bowler and even won a Super Bowl ring with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in 2021. However, he has not been back on the field since 2022. Brown made over $88 million as a player, but he currently claims he has less than $50,000 in assets. So, $88 million. Let's put this in perspective. $88 million. He probably had $44 million deposited into his bank account. 3 to 5% of that $44 million is probably going to be gone. So let's just be nice. Let's just say of the $44 million, 2 probably went to an agent. He probably had other obligations, house, cars, jewelries, his boys. I think Antonio Brown do have children, if I'm not mistaken. Baby mamas, child support, all of those other things over a 12-year career. And now that money that he has after all of those obligations has to last him the rest of his life, because I don't know what music Antonio Brown is making. I know at one point he did own a semi-pro football team, and I think that went belly up because he wasn't paying, or the team essentially became insolvent and he wasn't paying certain obligations he had as an owner. So I don't know what his current income is. But I do want y'all to take a look at this video from 2022, I believe, maybe 2020, of Antonio Brown talking about bankruptcy, because everybody on social media and every YouTube video is talking about this dude dumb. He's spending money at the strip club. But I don't know. After I saw this old video, I thought to myself, Antonio Brown might actually be doing something smart. So, hey, this footage, of course, is Vlad TV. This is Antonio Brown on filing for bankruptcy. This is a flashback. Let's see, when was this originally posted? This is an older video, but I think this video is from 4 years ago. So let's listen to what he say about filing for bankruptcy. He looked wild too, but let's listen to what he said for filing for bankruptcy.
Yes.
I mean, you just defied the odds, man.
Defeat the odds. That's what we stand
you
for.
defied the odds, man. You
Yes.
seem like you're still financially good.
Of course, business booming.
You know, you're financially good. You're not one of these stories of.
No, but I might have to file Chapter 11 though, just to protect the.
Oh, really?
Yeah, really.
Okay.
Yeah, that way you could take away the
look
debt,
at Donald Trump.
Yeah, you know.
How many times Donald Trump filed?
4 or 5 times.
That's actually be Trick Daddy. He's filed like 3 times, and he has no plans on not filing in the future.
Yeah, they just wipe away the debt. That way no one can take none from you.
You know, I mean, it happens.
Everything in the trust, Vlad. You know,
everything in the trust, man. Listen, I appreciate you finally doing this, man. We've been trying to do this.
Yo, let's. Did y'all hear that? Everybody talk bad about AB. Everybody talk about, hey, he crazy and he ignorant. But hey, that one old video clip right there that I saw, AB filed for bankruptcy. Vlad posted this old video. Shout out to Vlad TV. Y'all can go check out his content or whatever. But think about it. He said this like 4 years ago. Yo, may have to do that Chapter 11, everything in the trust to protect those assets. So Antonio Brown might be Like, I'm not saying some of the stuff he did. He got some crazy lawsuits out there. He threw like a couch off his balcony and it almost hit a kid. He got some crazy ass lawsuit out there. And I'm definitely not saying generally he's a smart guy. But that video from 4 years ago that we just watched, and in light of him filing bankruptcy just recently on the 15th, AB may be smarter than a lot of us actually think. I don't know. Y'all let me know what y'all think. But I think I seriously don't think that he is going to be assed out broke, like not have no assets. I think he's just going to, file Chapter 11, burn off some of that uh, debt that's not attached to any real asset, like the credit card debt, car loans, jewelry, all of that stupid shit. And he still got stash. If he got money stashed in the trust that he could pull off little pieces of income for, that's going to be great. Now, again, I don't anticipate Antonio Brown being able to live the lifestyle he was as a player. But if he actually took his own advice that he gave before he filed bankruptcy years ago, he actually may end up being, relatively good in a good position in a good place financially. Now, I'm not saying that he didn't facilitate his own bag potentially being fumbled, because that is the case. Most times when people fumble the bag financially, it's due to their own fault. Let's just be honest. Most times when you make a financial mistake, you go out and get that car that you couldn't afford, or you get that student loan that you couldn't pay back because you didn't graduate and you only got a job making $30,000 and you went to a private school and no $200,000. Most financial issues are the result of our own bad decisions. Hey, DFD made a bunch of them, and I don't know. I don't think I'm gonna make any substantially bad financial decisions in the future. But hey, y'all may think that some of my financial decisions aren't the greatest, aren't the smartest. But yo, y'all let me know what y'all think. Do y'all think, on two notes, two questions? I'm gonna put a poll question up in light of that interview. First question, number one: do y'all think Diddy actually, when it's all said and done and all the smoke is cleared, could lose anywhere between 50 to 60% of his current $800 million net worth? And two, do y'all think Antonio Brown is broke, or do y'all think Antonio Brown is actually smart and is utilizing Chapter 11 to clear some unsecured debt so that he can protect that money that he got sitting in the trust? On question number one, I think the answer is an absolute yes. For me, I think it's an absolute yes that when it's all said and done and the smoke is cleared, this dude's net worth is going to be substantially lower, probably in the $200 or $300 million range, which is a shitload of money to us. But for him, he gonna be living like a pauper, okay? And I think with AB, I'm actually gonna give AB a little bit of credit, even though I'm probably gonna take an unpopular opinion here, okay? Most people would probably disagree with me because AB has a track record of doing stupid shit. But the fact that he knew the concept and the benefits of a Chapter 11 4 years ago when he was talking to Vlad, the fact that he was talking about having assets in the trust, I'm actually going to give AB the benefit of the doubt on this one. And I'm going to think that his move to file bankruptcy is actually more from a place of intelligence as opposed to a place of desperation. Now, I'm not saying AB ain't going to be broke in the long run, because hey, like I said, the dude he's a habitual bad decision maker. But I do think this Chapter 11 bankruptcy, he didn't file it from a point of desperation. I think he probably filed it from a point of being smart. That's my take on it. Y'all let me know what y'all think in the comments. As always, I appreciate everybody who tuned in, who commented, who watched and support the channel. Y'all are greatly appreciated. Y'all have a good one. If y'all gotta go back to work tomorrow, eat the last of y'all barbecue y'all got in there. I already punished the last of the barbecue I made. It was amazing too. I wanted to put a video up. I like to cook, and every time I cook, I got like a lot of food pictures in my phone. AB is not bright because of talking to Vlad. I agree though. But the fact that he had some understanding of a trust, the fact that he had some understanding of how Chapter 11 has benefits, to burn off and discharge some unsecured debts. Like, he was talking about it 4 years ago, then he actually followed through with it. I don't know. Like, again, I don't think that AB can be a member of Mensa. I don't think he has an IQ off the Richter scale, but I do think it could be both. His bankruptcy could be from desperation and smarts, but I do think that there was some thought behind him filing this bankruptcy in an effort to preserve his wealth. I just don't think that I don't think AB MC Hammer broke. I don't think he really only got $20 in his bank account. I would be shocked at that. I think he does have some assets somewhere that he can pull from, just in light of that conversation, because he was talking about something that a lot of people who blow their money have no clue of, in my personal opinion. But again, hey, I'm not saying AB is a genius. I just don't think it was a complete desperation move as opposed to a move to protect some of his assets and get rid of some debt. That's my take on it. Team AB, y'all stop hating on him. Y'all have a good one. Take care. Thanks for tuning in, y'all. Peace.